I made a frivolous purchase, and rather than, like I've said before in previous episodes, that this new generation of consoles hasn't particularly excited me, and like I'd been mulling over getting an Xbox Series S just because they're available, but I don't know, so I just decided to get the Quest. You know, I'm probably more excited for the prospect of playing Resident Evil 4 in VR than like perhaps playing Resident Evil Village in VR.
But that's not out.
That's not out yet.
When's it meant to come out?
Well, this is the thing. It is coming out this year, but there's not a release date yet.
But you said you've seen the gameplay.
Yeah. It looks fantastic.
Still need to look that up.
Yeah, but I figured like it looks. To be fair, like it looks like the kind of game where, you know, you maybe have to have your VR legs quite well established to maybe get the most out of it. So getting a few months practice in is no bad thing, and it's absolutely fantastic. So like obviously the first thing I got was Beat Saber, because like that's the absolute must-have VR like first purchase. In all fairness, I haven't been playing that much. I think that's much more of a kind of social thing. But I did get I got a game. So there's a Star Wars one called Vader Immortal, I think, and I got the first part of that, and it's like a sort of story-driven, like first person, obviously. Game set in the Star Wars universe. It is meant to be like
play as the purple-haired woman.
No, it's set at a different time. But who knows?
Do you have to answer to the purple-haired woman?
I mean, I have only played the first episode so far.
They should make it that you play through the first level, you kill loads of guys, and then at the end she's there and she says, "What'd you kill all those folk for?"
Yeah,
that's not the way you should be doing it.
Gives you a stern dressing down. Yeah, and then obviously I got Superhot VR, and I'm so glad that I did that, because it's probably one of the best gaming experiences I think I've ever had.
I've played a lot of it on PSVR, and I agree it's pretty good.
And yeah, like I can imagine, like, yeah, the difference between being sort of untethered is like it's a huge difference when you don't have wires and stuff. And like, see if I had a bigger play space, it just feels like it is the most immersive experience I think I've ever had. Like I genuinely felt like I was the one, dodging bullets and like pulling off all these unbelievable moves. And see, when I'd stopped playing, like I think it was the first night that I got it, like I'd sweated through all my clothes. I was fucking soaking, and like I didn't even feel like I was, you know, like overexerting myself and anything. But it's just how it immerses you into it. It's just
gets you moving.
It really does. It's outstanding.
So it has what's it called? Inside out room tracking or something. When you don't have the camera.
So it's got cameras on the headset, and it's so obviously it's you create a boundary, and
so have you found that works pretty flawlessly?
Yeah. Like. I've had.
And how about seeing the controllers? Does it always know where the controls are? Or is there like
there's sometimes where when you're in certain games where you can't see the controllers when you put them down, but when you're in the kind of home environment, then yeah.
But I mean, more like the tracking, it never fucks up or anything.
It's actually spot on, and
because like with the PSVR, the camera needed to see the eye toy controller. So,
yeah.
No, what they call the motion controllers.
Yeah.
So if they were behind you, then it would break the tracking. So there's that's what I mean. Is there any like dead zones where you've had trouble with it seeing it?
No, but I'd been trying out a game. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called now, but it was one because it does have finger tracking. There's some so you can play it without the controllers. And I'd been experimenting with it, just navigating the kind of the home environment, you know, like browsing the App Store and that, just using your hands. And I was playing a game where it specifically uses just finger tracking and stuff, and it was working well to a point, but I found that this room is quite, like, it's not the best for brightness, and it was definitely struggling, so I was turning to do certain things and it was just losing the hand.
So does it work better in a brighter room?
Yeah, definitely. So like a lot of so obviously now I've subscribed to a lot of VR based YouTubers and stuff, and a lot of them are talking about sort of essential or like accessories and stuff, and one of them was like I think it's like an infrared light. So like basically it's so you can use it in low light environments better. It just creates a light that only it can see, and it's just meant to improve that kind of issue. That being said, it was a minor issue and it happened once on one game using a thing that I've not really used much.
That was the finger tracking.
Finger tracking. As far as the controllers are concerned, it's been absolutely spot on, and for the most part I have the big light on when I'm playing it, but there's been a couple of times where I've forgotten and I've just had the lamp on, and the lamp's sort of off in a corner and quite high up and it's not the brightest, and it's worked fine, you know. I've not had any issues. So
for Superhot, were you moving around the whole room?
Yeah, I'd cleared a space and was like proper going for it, and like ducking behind crates and getting up, and like my fucking calf muscles, like my legs were absolutely like throbbing. Like the next day it was
proper workout.
Proper. The only thing is it seemed like it was over too soon.
Even Beat Saber's quite a good workout.
It is.
It depends how you play it, because you can kind of do big movements if you want, or you do little movements.
I'm not at the stage of Beat Saber yet where I'm like confidently swinging about like a master or anything. It's very sort of like, oh fuck, like just sort of trying to process what's coming at me, and you see videos of folk that are absolute.
When it goes to expert.
Yeah, I'm just sort of trying it out on medium.
But it's like that with anything, like you get Guitar Hero people who are shredding away.
Yeah.
So what else have you been playing?
I got that game Moss.
Moss with the mouse.
Moss with the mouse.
Is that a mouse?
It is a mouse, yeah. And I've been really enjoying that. It's like sort of, I guess you could call it second person, I think it's been described as, but you're actually like an entity in the world, but you're also controlling a character, the mouse, and it's aware of you, and you kind of have to help it like navigate the environment by interacting with things like platforms, and you can sort of grab enemies, and so like you've got you give the mouse a chance to kind of line up its attacks and stuff. It's a really it's quite a unique, especially for VR, where it's like primarily like a lot of first person experiences. This is kind of more like a 3D puzzle platformer, but you are actually in the world with the character that you're controlling, and it's really charming, and it's kind of reminiscent of, I don't want to say Harry Potter because I don't like Harry Potter, but it kind of like has that kind of magical sort of
it's quite a realistic art style, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it like
looks like a real mouse.
It does, other than it's got like
does it look quite sharp, that game on Oculus Quest? Because I played the demo on PSVR.
I mean, you could have a look at it, I guess, and see. You've got that frame of reference. To me, it looks great. One thing that I do sort of struggle with, and it's been probably with every VR headset that I've tried, is sometimes like if I don't have, like, it can look blurry if it's resting on my forehead a certain way and stuff like that. I kind of have to readjust it quite a lot.
You've got to have it on exactly perfect.
Yeah. And it can,
if it's not quite sitting where it should be, then your eyes aren't in the right place.
Yeah, and so it can be a bit, and sometimes when it is in the right place, my nose gets itchy and I'm trying to scratch my nose under it, so that's like just a kind of, not even a criticism, it's just, I guess, something that...
It did, when I had it on my head, it seemed like it was quite tight. Can you loosen it off, or is that just the way it is?
No, you can loosen it.
Can you adjust that?
It is adjustable. Everyone says that you should get the Pro strap. It's like 50 quid, and it makes it like more like the PSVR strap, where it's a bit more like of a tangible, physical, adjustable thing that you can then like tighten it. It's got the same kind of dial. So that I will have to get that, particularly because when the night that I got my Quest, you gave me a pair of your headphones to use, and it flaked off all this horrible black plastic all over my fucking headset and my controllers, which I can't get the stains out.
It's a nice speckled effect.
Aye, like
an egg.
I did manage to get some of it off, vigorously scrubbing it with a damp sponge.
You should try the alcohol. So what's the difference between the Oculus Quest 2 and 1?
I've no idea. I haven't even really looked into it. I would like, to be honest, it wasn't really on my radar until like the Resident Evil 4 announcement, and then I'd kind of just started thinking a bit more about it and thinking, well, whilst I was like reticent because of the Facebook thing, I was like, well, I use Facebook anyway, it's not like it's an issue, and what I'm looking for is sort of a way into VR that's not ridiculously expensive, that doesn't tether me to a console or a PC. And
so can you use this headset with a computer? And
yeah, you can use it with a cable, and also there's a bunch of what's called experimental features, where I guess they're looking to become standard features, but at the moment, because they're I don't know, they're there, but they're considered experimental. You can do things like play your Steam VR library wirelessly, and it is meant to work really well. And there had been issues like recently where if it lost connection, it was crashing or something, and it became difficult to get back. Basically, they're kind of working on it all the time, and they seem to be resolving issues to make it more stable. So yeah, you can do that, and it seems to be like the feature set is kind of growing. And there was I think an interview with Phil Spencer. Like, there is no plans to have
Phil Spector. He's the one that shot his wife.
Phil Spencer, the head of Microsoft Xbox.
Music guy.
There is, so like I think I maybe said on a previous podcast that if Xbox allowed third-party headsets to work on the Series X, then they've probably got this generation in the bag. Like, I think there's maybe a hint that something like that. But Phil Spencer had said that the best VR experiences that he's had has been on Quest 2. He's a total Quest 2 fanboy. So yeah, we'll see. Either bringing, I think he was more talking about making Xbox-based VR experiences, or maybe bringing some form of Game Pass to the Quest or something. So it seems like the library could expand. Netflix are apparently as well. They've announced just this last week that they're looking to start offering VR experiences and games on Netflix in the near future.
Really?
Yeah. So it seems like it's a good time to be picking up a Quest, or just generally sort of.
Well, I was
VR.
watching the video for RE4 there, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
But don't know when it's coming out, but hopefully it's soon.
Yeah.
But the bit where you go out your body and like the teleport and movement, that looked a bit weird.
So I've played another game that done that, and it's not as weird as you might think. If actually, like, it's probably like maybe the most comfortable way to.
But I mean, when I played Resident Evil 7, it was just with a DualShock controller, and it was full.
And you
motion.
must have been, you must have, and you played through the whole thing.
And I felt sick, genuinely sick, but it was still worth it.
Yeah.
But
and I guess
I think it looked like it had loads of different comfort options. So hopefully there's an option to go full, like motion.
Yeah, and that is the thing, because like I try. The comfort thing is it's an issue, but I think it's one that can be overcome. Like, and certainly from what I can gather,
people say you get better, but I've never got any better. I'm still get really sick really easily. But I think the solution is to have the options for comfort, so you can have as many or as little as you want.
Yeah.
Because everyone's different. Yeah. But it's the games that don't allow you to choose. That's when it's a problem.
Yeah. So like I'm very excited. So like I'm excited about the prospect of. So I'd found out about this thing called Side Quest, which is like a bit of software that it seems to be licensed and all kind of legit, but it basically allows you to kind of like access the developer mode of the Quest. So you kind of, from what I gather, to access it, you kind of register as a developer. You just put in like any old name, and then you've got access to Side Quest, and they can like load kind of homebrewed or more untested content, I suppose. And people are like porting like Half-Life and Return to Castle Wolfenstein and Doom 3 and stuff, and they're all fully working native on the Quest, like full VR mode, right. And they're getting really sort of high praise, and like that's really exciting to me.
That's just like homebrew versions, or like
more or less, but
fan made stuff.
Kind of. It's like, in order to, for example, with Half-Life, you have to have a legit version, a legit copy of Half-Life,
right?
But you just like add this mod, or like, and it makes it so it's working natively on the Quest in VR.
Cool.
And it looks fucking great, and like that's my kind of era of like first person shooters, like the kind of the ones that I remember most fondly. The prospect of playing them in VR is really exciting, but I don't think that I'm there yet, like in terms of being able to freely move about. Cause I've tried it, and it does it when you try and move when you're not physically moving. It makes me.
Some people are fine; it doesn't bother them, but I'm not.
Depends on the kind of game, I suppose, because there is times where it's been fine, but.
So you also got I Expect You to Die as well.
Yes, on your recommendation.
On my recommendation.
And I have been really enjoying it. It's great. So it's kind of like a sort of James Bond sort of themed kind of escape rooms, kind of short little puzzle scenarios, if you like. And yeah, it's really quite novel and fun, but also a very trial and error. There was one that I got to. It was your favourite one, wasn't it? The Sub.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd like, it was good, but I ended up doing it. It must have been 50 times, literally 50 times. And I just started to get quite frustrated by the end.
I think I maybe might have looked at a walkthrough for that, and that's why I didn't get frustrated by it. Because it is easy to get frustrated when you're in VR, and you get stuck on a puzzle.
And it's like, I guess it was like
that
it was
one
quite
as well,
frantic, and you've
got
got
a countdown to drowning, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you're trying to like grab the things you need, and then like using the kind of telekinetic like way of grabbing stuff. I was kind of panicking, hitting the wrong buttons, and it was like
I thought it was great because it made it feel like you're in this little it's a submarine.
It's a little sub, like a little escape pod kind of thing.
It was so cool.
Yeah, but like once I'd got past that one, the one afterwards.
What was that one?
I think that was one where you're in a a ski lodge, the guy's ski lodge, and you're sitting at a table. There's a big fire in front of you, and there's a big stuffed bear.
Right.
And you've got oh god, I can't remember now. There's like some big device comes up from the ground, and you've got to get these purple crystals, and I can't remember. But
yeah, there was also some DLC for that. I don't know if that came included with yours. Without having to buy it separately.
I'm not sure.
You're on like a train, in like a train carriage. I didn't even manage to finish that one before my rabbit chewed the cable.
Yeah. There is a sequel that's been announced.
Right?
Yeah, it's meant to be coming out this year.
Cool. I'm definitely up for more of that.
Yeah. I do recommend it.
So how much was it, the Quest 2?
So I got the 256 gig model, and that was £399. So like it is close to the price of a next gen console, but actually sort of available. You can get it now, and like what's
to buy it off a scalper.
Yeah. What's interesting is that it can be quite daunting when you first look at the Quest store, because there's so much content, and like if you've only been exposed to kind of like standard like YouTube gamers, or like it's almost like they never talk about VR games. It's like it is a total separate realm of gaming. Like it can be quite difficult to know what's good or not. So you're kind of
there's their own community, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a completely almost isolated community from the rest of the gaming landscape. It's
a lot of people who play VR have started to shun 2D games.
Yeah.
And people who play traditional games shun the VR people.
Yeah.
There's quite a divide.
It's fascinating. Whereas to me, it's like I'm an unapologetic fan of motion controls and have been since the Wii. I think it's great that there's still that kind of interest in it. You know, like people love gyro controls on the Switch, and pretty much demand it. If there's going to be a first-person shooter on the Switch, then if you don't put gyro in it, people are quite annoyed about that. And obviously VR, like without things like the Wii pushing the industry forward in that direction, VR wouldn't be where it is just now in terms of being like the kind of immersive alternative to conventional gaming that it is. I don't think it will ever like replace like standard gaming, because you know what people are like, they're quite resistant to change. But I think
it's always going to be a place for both.
I think it's just like people are like, there's a large subsection of gamers who are like very resistant to any kind of physical activity being a part of their.
It is more intense VR, I think. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes it's too much, and you do just want to relax. So I would say it's probably less relaxing to play a VR.
Oh, definitely.
But
also the same people who like object to motion controls or VR or any kind of physical activity aren't playing games aren't playing relaxing games. They're playing visceral combat shooters with like 100 people online and stuff like that. Yeah. Like if that's your bag, then maybe VR isn't for you.
There's not a VR version of Fortnite, is there?
No, but there's a game. There's
a similar game,
and you find a lot of that. There's kind of like VR equivalents. There's a game called Population 1, I think, that's been getting really sort of talked up on
That's like a battle royale, is it?
But like again, it looks to me like I'm not there yet. I couldn't play that without being ill,
violently sick.
Yeah, but it does look good. It looks better than Fortnite. I mean, but it's doing the same kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? There's like So it's a kind of battle royale. You can kind of build structures and whatnot, but it seems to be a bit more, I guess, less child oriented.